Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the incredible journey of the World Wide Web, from what was basically a simple digital library to a future where it might actually, well, think with us.
So let's start with a little bit of nostalgia. I want you to think way back. Remember that awful screeching sound of a dial-up modem? Yeah, that sound. That was pretty much the gateway to a completely different online world, a world where the main thing you did was just surf from one page to the next.
Okay, but first things first, let's get one common mix-up out of the way. The web and the internet. They're not actually the same thing. You can think of the internet as the global infrastructure, right? The physical hardware, the pipes. The World Wide Web is what flows through those pipes. It's the websites, the videos, the stuff we actually see and use. So let's jump in a time machine and go way, way back to the beginning, Web 1.0. This was the web in its infancy, pretty much from the early 90s all the way up to about 2004.
The whole idea back then was super simple. You could look, but you couldn't really touch. It was like a giant interconnected library where information was just presented to you. Your only job was to consume it. It was totally a one-way street.
So what did that actually look like? Well, most websites were just these flat, static pages built with really basic HTML. Any kind of real interactivity was, well, it was basically zero. The most you could do was maybe sign a digital guest book or, watch that little hit counter at the bottom of the page slowly tick up. And the crazy thing is, you can still find perfect fossils of this era online today. The original 1996 Space Jam website, it is still live in all its retro pixelated glory. And come on, who could forget GeoCities, where literally everyone built their own personal pages with neon text and blinking GIFs? But that static, read-only web, it wasn't going to last forever. Around 2004, everything started to change with the arrival of Web 2.0. This was the social revolution, and it built the internet that most of us are using every single day. This right here was the fundamental shift. It was a total game changer. The web stopped being a monologue, where big companies just broadcasted information at us. Instead, it became a massive global conversation where all of a sudden, anyone could have a voice. And just like that, we weren't just consumers of content anymore. We all became the creators. We started writing blogs, uploading our own videos to YouTube, reviewing products on Amazon, and sharing pretty much our entire lives on places like Facebook and Instagram. The web became interactive, mobile, and really truly collaborative. Okay, so that brings us to the next massive leap, and it's one that's happening as we speak. Web 3.0 is all about a fundamental shift in who actually controls our digital world, moving away from those giant centralized tech platforms we know from Web 2.0. This one word, owning, it captures the entire philosophy. See, in the Web 2.0 world, platforms like Meta and Google, they own our data. The core promise of Web 3.0 is to finally give that control back to us, the users. So, how does that even work? Well, instead of all our data living on servers owned by just a handful of massive corporations, Web 3.0 is being built on decentralized networks, like blockchains. And what this means is you can truly own your digital identity, your data, and your assets, without having to ask for permission or trust some middleman. And this isn't just a theory, right? We're already seeing this play out with platforms like Ethereum, which lets people build these decentralized apps, or marketplaces like OpenSea, where digital ownership in the form of NFTs is literally coded directly into the system. This chart really lays out the whole journey perfectly, doesn't it? Our role online has shifted from just being a passive consumer to being an active creator, and now to potentially being an owner. The tech has evolved right along with it, from a simple read-only web to a read-write social world, and now to a read-write-own economy. Every single step has given us, the user, more power. So what comes after all this? If Web 3.0 is about taking back control, the future of the web looks like it's going to get even more intelligent and woven even deeper into our daily lives. They're calling Web 4.0 the symbiotic web. This is the point where the internet starts to actually think with us. Imagine your smart home, your calendar, and your car all talking to each other. So your car just automatically starts warming up right before you have to leave for an appointment that just got rescheduled. It's a web that anticipates what we need before we even know we need it. We're talking about technology that can predict our needs, maybe even understand human emotion, and interact with us through way more natural interfaces like augmented reality, or get this, even brain-computer interfaces, the kind of stuff they're working on at places like Neuralink.
And if we look even further down the road, the idea of a Web 5.0 seems to be splitting into two really fascinating paths. One vision is this emotional web, where tech can actually understand and react to our feelings. The other idea from Jack Dorsey's team is called Web 5, and it's all about combining the easy-to-use feel of Web 2.0 with the absolute data ownership of Web 3.0. So really, you can boil this whole epic journey down to just 4 words. We went from reading the web to writing on it to owning a piece of it, and pretty soon we might be thinking with it.
And that leaves us with one final and I think really critical question. As the web gets smarter and more tangled up in our lives, the debate that really started with Web 3.0 gets even more important. Who gets to set the rules?